Hey guys, welcome back to learning the basics of Python with me. And today I'm gonna talk about lists and also basic operators you can use in Python. Okay, so to start off with, we already talked about variables in our last video, but what I'm gonna talk about is lists. So basically, list is another like data value, and like lists are basically like a collection of it can be just like a collection of numbers, strings, variables, or anything. It's kind of similar to arrays if you are familiar with that term, but like lists in Python are written with like square brackets. Before I show you how to make a list though in the simplest way, I'm going to teach you something about index. So what's interesting about lists is that they're made with square brackets, but you also you separate each by a comma, and to access certain things in the list you had to use index. So basically what that means is that like how the computer interprets which items you want from that list. So so the way it starts, the first item in that list will have an index of 0. The second item in the list will be have an index of 1. Kind of confusing, but you'll get it. And basically you keep going. So like if you were to have four items in your list and you wanted to access the fourth item, you would want to access the index 3. Now there's a bunch of simple like operators or like functions you can use to like expand how you use lists, and I'll definitely link what like all of the like operations you can use with lists down below, so you can see all you can do. But in this video I'm trying to teach you the basics, so I'm just gonna teach you what you can simply do with lists. Now that I already talked about lists and I already showed you how to like use lists, I'm going to teach you about basic operators. So like basic operators basically allow you to do simple math or just math in your program, so you can expand on it. So some of the simple operators include like addition and subtraction. Those are the same symbols, so like so like an addition sign or a minus sign. But like to multiply, you would use the asterisk. So that tells the program that you want to multiply two numbers. And if you want to divide, use the division sign. So like the slash, the forward slash. Another operators that aren't as obvious are like how to get the remainder of a number, how to square or cube a number. To get the remainder of a number, basically it kind of works the same as division. So if you were wanting to get the remainder of 8 divided by 3, for example, you would do 8 percentage sign and then 3. That will tell the program, oh, I want the remainder of the number, not the quotient. And if you want to do a power relationship or like square or cube a number, basically do use the asterisk sign twice. So if you wanted 2 squared, you would do 2 asterisk signs and then 2. If you wanted 3 cubed, you would do 3 double asterisk sign 3. Now you might be wondering, okay, we can use operators with numbers and integers, obviously, but what if I wanted to use these operators with strings? Now that's where it gets interesting. So these operators allow us to you can actually use basic operators with strings. So for example, if you wanted to add certain terms, you might have seen this in the last video, but like if you wanted to add a phrase and another phrase, you can use the plus symbol to add those phrases. So for example, I can show you here where you can just combine 2 phrases using that addition symbol. And it also allows you to repeat a sequence using the multiplication symbol. So like if you wanted to print hi 10 times or 20 times, you could do hi and then multiply it by 10 and then set that to a variable and then print that variable. Now, what if we were to use these basic operators with lists? Now, okay, if you were to use like an addition operator with lists, so like if you were to combine 2 lists, it wouldn't add each term to a list. You would have to use some different code to do that. But if you use the addition symbol with lists, it basically combines them. So basically, like if you were to have a list of names and their phone numbers next to them, when you use the addition symbol, it would write whatever list you wrote first to be added, that list would be first, and then the second list would be right after that, and it'll basically create a bigger list. Let's say if you were to use the multiplication symbol, so like what I said before, when you need to multiply a string, it would basically repeat that term. That's kind of the same with lists. So if you were to multiply a list, you basically repeat that in a bigger list. So like 1, 2, 3, and you would multiply that by 5. You would see 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 5 times. I realized I forgot to record a outro, but that's basically it for learning about the basics of lists and basic operators. So I hope you enjoyed and I hope you learned something, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.